Hello everyone, welcome to our front-end masterclass. I'm really excited to have you all here and to start this journey with you. My name is Hamid Adamu and I'm a front-end developer. I have good experience building websites and web applications, and I've worked on everything from simple business websites to complex web applications. What I love most about front-end development is how you can take an idea and turn it into something visual and interactive that people can actually use. I'm creating this masterclass because I want to share my knowledge with those who want to dive into the world of tech. When I was learning as a beginner, it was hard because I had no instructor or mentor to guide me. I had to figure everything out on my own, and I know how overwhelming that can feel. That's why I'm here, to be the mentor I wish I had when I was starting out. Over the next few days, we are going to transform you from someone who might know nothing about web development into someone who can build beautiful, professional websites from scratch. By the end of this course, you will have real projects in your portfolio that can show you to potential employers or clients. Today is day one, and we are starting with the absolute fundamentals, which is HTML structure and getting your development environment set up. Don't worry if you have never written a line of code before. We are going to take this step by step, and I'll explain everything clearly. Let me tell you what we are covering today, and then we will dive in. Today we are covering four main things: what HTML actually is and how it works, setting up your development tool so you can start coding, the basic structure every HTML page needs, how to add text content like headings and paragraphs. By the end of today's lesson, you will create your first web page. It might seem simple, but every profession starts with these same basics. So, what exactly is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. I know that sounds technical, but think of it this way. HTML is like the skeleton of a house. When you build a house, you start with the frame that holds everything together. HTML is the frame that holds all the content of a website together. When you visit any website, whether it's Google, Facebook, or your local restaurant site, your browser is reading HTML code and turning it into the visual page you see. HTML uses something called tags to tell the browser what each piece of content is. For example, if I want to tell the browser that something is heading, I wrap it in a heading tag. If I want to create paragraph, I use paragraph tags. Here's the cool part. HTML is not a programming language. You're not doing complex calculations or logic. You're simply marking up content and telling the browser this is a heading, this is paragraph, or this is an image. It's actually quite straightforward once you understand the pattern. Every time you visit a website, here's what happens. In about a sec, the browser asks the server for the website's files. The server sends back HTML, CSS, and other files. Your browser reads the HTML and displays the page. If there is CSS, it makes everything look pretty. If there is JavaScript, it adds interactive features. Today, we are focusing on creating that HTML structure. Before we can start building websites, we need the right tools. Think of this like setting up a workshop. You need good tools to do good work. The first tool we need is a text editor where we write our code, and I highly recommend Visual Studio Code or VS Code for short. It's what most professional developers use, and it has tons of helpful features. You can download it from code.visualstudiocode.com. It works on Windows, Mac, and other operating systems. Why VS Code? Well, it has something called syntax highlighting. It colors your code to make it easier to read. It also has autocomplete, which means it can help finish your code as you type. And it has great extensions that make development even easier. Well, if you are using Android, If you're using Android, I will record a video and show you the tools you can use. Or if you're familiar with them, just go to Play Store and download maybe SPCK editor or Trap Edit or Acode, whatever code editor. There are many of them on Play Store. After getting your text editor, you also need a modern web browser. I recommend using Chrome or Firefox because they have excellent developer tools built in. Developer tools let you inspect any website's code, test your own code, and debug problems. You'll use these tools throughout the course. To open the developer tools in Chrome or Firefox, just press F12 or right click just like that and then click inspect. As you can see, this is the elements of this page right here. Okay, you can see. So now let's talk about how every HTML document is structured. Think of this like the template that every web page follows. Every HTML page starts with a doc type declaration. Let me first create a file in our HTML file. I named my own index because it's what most professional developers use. Index and the file extension is .html. So doc type declaration is something that looks like this. HTML. Sorry. VS Code. Okay. Doc type HTML. Okay, sorry, I didn't put the exclamation mark, that's why. So this tells the browser that hey, this is HTML5 document. That's all it do. And after that we have the HTML element itself. Everything else goes inside this HTML tags. And then there is an attribute used inside it, which is the lang attribute. This tells the browser which language this page is using. And for our case, let's say in English. This helps with accessibility and search engines. Inside the HTML element, every page has two main sections, which is the head section and the body section. The head section, like that, contains information about your page. Things like the title that appears in the browser tab, information for search engines, and links to style sheets. People don't see this content directly. And there is the body section, which contains everything people actually see on your website: text, images, forms, everything. Let me show what typically goes in the S section. In the S section, we have meta tags. Uh, so you can see there are many of them. Meta character set. I'm going to show you the two most used ones. Okay, meta character set UTF-8 and meta viewport. With equals device with initial scale equals 1.0. Now let's explain what those lines do. Okay, sorry, let me format the document with my this thing. So now, the first meta tag tells the browser how to handle text characters. UTF-8 supports all languages and special characters, while the viewport meta tag is crucial for mobile devices. It tells mobile browsers to display the page at the right size instead of zooming out to show a tiny desktop version. The title tag, we didn't even write it. Title, let's say uh, document. Okay, the title tag is what appears in the browser tab and in search results. Now let's talk about adding actual contents that people can see, which will be added inside the body tag. Okay, HTML has several elements for different types of text content. First ones, let's talk about the headings, H1 through H6. Headings are like the chapter titles and section headers in a book. HTML has 6 levels of headings, and let's write all of them down. Actually, let's run the server and see our file there. This is a live server extension in VS Code. Let's say H1, H1, H2. Okay, this is it. Actually, let me change this thing. I don't like this kind of font. So let me style the web page. Actually, don't worry. You'll understand all of this a bit later. Let's see. I have Lato installed on my computer, so let's use Lato. Okay. So now, these are our headings, right? H1 is the most important and largest. H6 is the least important of them. Here's an important rule. Only use one H1 per page. Think of it as the main title of your document. Okay, now let's talk about paragraphs. For regular text content, we use paragraph tags. And this paragraph tag looks like this, something like this, just P. Sorry, I entered something like this. This is a paragraph. Okay, each paragraph tag creates a new block of text, some space above and below it. And we also have two special elements called the div and span. The div element looks like this. This is a div. Then the span elements look like this. Span text. Okay, and now you might be wondering what their differences is. Hell, they're all the same, right? Let me color them. Let me change the background colors and you will see the difference. Let me select the div element. Property for changing background color is background color, and let's give it slate blue. Have you seen it? It takes up all the available width, right? Okay, now let's check the span. Let's say red. You can see, think of span as a wrapper that only takes up as much space as its content needs. This might seem boring now, but they become super useful when we start adding CSS styling. Okay, let me show you what a complete basic HTML page looks like. Actually, let's create another file for that. Let's say about HTML, and here let's change it to that about. Okay, and let me just use this VS Code shortcut. You click Shift and then exclamation mark and then enter. Okay, now for the title, I'm gonna change it to my page. Okay, my page, right? And so this is it. Let's say, let's use the H1 first. Let's say my personal website. Okay, actually let me change the style here to body, font family, sorry, font family, Lato. Okay, the hell is happening? Okay, sorry. What the hell is the problem here? Okay, this is not needed. Okay, so you can see it. After that, let's say H2 about me, P. Hi there, I'm Hamid Adam, and I'm learning web development. Right? This is my first sorry, my first HTML web page. And then let's add another H2, my goals, and then I want to become a skilled front-end web developer. Okay, I want to become a skilled front-end web developer and build amazing websites. Okay, so this is it. This is our HTML page. It's a complete valid HTML page. It has proper structure, semantic headings, and readable content, as you can see. So I'm gonna give you an assignment, but that will be later. Okay, that's wrap up for day one. We covered a lot of ground today, from understanding what HTML is to setting up your development environment to creating your first web page structure. Tomorrow we'll dive into more HTML elements like links, lists, and images. Make sure to complete today's assignment that I'm gonna give you. And don't hesitate to ask questions in the group chat. I'm there for you. I'm excited to see what you create, and I'll see you tomorrow for day two. And remember to practice to code along with the video, and then close the video and practice along too. If you don't understand anything, I'm there in the group. Just chat me up. Goodbye and happy coding.